Being a YouTuber is not a job. There, I said it. What's up, peeps? CmanXP here, and hopefully my opening statement didn't cause everybody to click off this video. I may as well be talking to myself if that's the case. And yes, I'm going to be calling all of you peeps from now on. I brought it up with my council and everybody seems to be in agreement that it's a great idea. So, here's to new beginnings. Anyways, let's get to the crux of the matter. I stand by my opening statement that being a YouTuber is not a job. But that doesn't mean that being a content creator is not a job. I'm going to explain everything that I mean throughout the course of this video, but as always, these are the opinions of myself and the impressions of my own. You can have your opinion, you can disagree or agree with me, that's your right, you are obligated to your opinion. Now I'm going to throw in a quick disclaimer before I get right down to it. If you're a person who's already made up your mind about the outcome of this video and whether you like or dislike this video off of the first 30 seconds and you cannot think objectively, please click off this video because this is not for you. This is meant to be just a sharing of my opinion. So if you're not going to listen throughout the entire video, please click off. The whole point of this video is to discuss my antagonism with the term YouTuber. Now, calling a content creator who utilizes the YouTube platform a YouTuber, to me is a very pigeonholed and limiting label to put on them. It kind of dictates that they will never amount to any real success, only YouTube success, which I don't agree with in any way, shape, or form. We've seen over the course of many years that there have been YouTubers that have created booming and successful businesses from the ground up utilizing the YouTube platform. So does that mean that they're specifically constricted to YouTube? I don't think so. Now, YouTube as a business, as a company, that is a legitimate job. This is true. I'm talking about IT people, people who negotiate or oversee the terms and conditions of utilizing the website. That is a real job. This is focusing solely on the content creators that utilize YouTube. Now, why can't being a YouTuber be considered a real job? Well, just to give an example, if you are a content creator on YouTube, you are not given a W-2 at the end of each fiscal year. Instead, you have to file a 1099 form, and as displayed by the IRS.gov, the IRS's website, the 1099 form is a form for self-employed individuals. So basically, if you are utilizing the YouTube platform and making money off of them, your taxes are only taken care of by yourself. Now, if this is a job, a corporate job, you are given a W-2 and your taxes are handled directly through them. But if you're utilizing the YouTube platform and you're making money or royalties, I guess you could call them, off of YouTube, you still have to do your own taxes. Make your own tax payments, rather. I should be clear when I say that. So basically, any content creators that are utilizing the YouTube platform, the revenue that they make is basically considered third-party revenue or third-party income. So technically, you are still self-employed. It's kind of like a sponsorship at the very base level. Now, if you are employed at a corporate headquarters for the website YouTube, that is technically a job that you are employed there. Therefore, you will get a W-2 and your taxes will be handled directly through your employer. But enough about taxes, because that's not going to be the only foundation for my argument. I've got some other stuff here that I can talk about. In one of the very first episodes of the Fine Brothers series, YouTubers React, Shay Carl made a statement as to what he believes a YouTuber to be. And I'm going to roll that clip right now.
To me, a YouTuber is somebody who, goes to VidCon and goes to Playlist Live and is a part of the community.
So, don't get me wrong, this is not an attack on Shay Carl, because God knows he's got enough of that going on right now. But what Shay Carl says is that to him, a YouTuber is someone who goes to VidCon or any of the other conventions that are focused around content creators. Now, allow me to paint you a picture with my imagination brush. Now, say you have about 300 subscribers and you've been posting on YouTube for around 2 years, maybe 3 years. You just haven't hit that real YouTube stride where you start gaining subscribers hilariously, for a lack of a better comparison. Now, if you are technically utilizing the YouTube platform, you're not able to go to VidCon because you haven't made YouTube revenue, or say you just don't have enough money to go to VidCon. Does that mean you're not a real YouTuber? Because I don't think that's the case. Anybody who utilizes the YouTube platform should be considered a YouTuber, not just the people who make money off of YouTube. But anyways, The term YouTuber doesn't really constitute those people anymore. Now let's talk about those individuals for a second. I'm talking about individuals who have been posting on YouTube for maybe 8+ years, 10 years even. It's people like Shay Carl. Now Shay Carl started off just making vlogs in his bedroom. And I think he had only had 3 kids at this time. He may have only had 2 as well, but I'm not sure because I didn't follow him that very religiously back in the day. Now Shay Carl teamed up with people like Lisa Nova, Kasim G, Shane Dawson, and a bunch of other people who I'm not going to name off the top of my head, but they created a YouTube channel called The Station. Now The Station is what was going to be the groundwork and would eventually evolve into Maker Studios. Shay Carl, being one of the co-founders of Maker Studios, was entitled to a large sum of money when they were acquired by Disney. Now, does that make Shay Carl a YouTuber? Probably. But at the same time, it makes him a businessman. It makes him an entrepreneur. Now, there is a very negative association with the word YouTuber or YouTube nowadays. Almost to the point where if somebody makes an argument about something that happened on YouTube, the public sees it as invalidated and not serious. And that's a problem. That is a big problem. People put their heart and soul into the content that they create, and it's no different from, say, Quentin Tarantino and Pulp Fiction or James Cameron and Avatar. Now, just for a frame of reference, I made a post on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, about the entire PewDiePie being dropped by Disney and Maker Studios situation, and was basically ridiculing the Wall Street Journal for their incredibly poor journalism skills. I received a response from a personal friend of mine, so his information is going to be protected, but it basically said, if you're limiting your opinion of the Wall Street Journal to how they've covered some YouTube douche, then I can see how you could come to that conclusion. They tend to do a pretty good job, fairly unbiased, fact-checked job covering everything else. It kind of seems like you're basing your opinion off of a sample size of one event. Now, am I going to ridicule him for having an opinion of his own? No. That's what he sees, I see differently. That's just the way the world works. Everybody has an opinion. But there is some sort of testament to the validity of being a YouTuber in that statement. Because PewDiePie has over 53 million subscribers. That is a lot of people. More than most countries, smaller countries in the world have today. Now, PewDiePie has raised millions of dollars for charity. He has done a lot of good things, and he's been a source of entertainment for years now. But because he's on YouTube, someone like my friend here would just consider him some YouTube douche. And that's not fair because this is a business of his own. He's just utilizing YouTube in order to promote, or further his business along and help, that way it can help it grow. Now let's take a look at somebody else, another big one. Let's look at Philip DeFranco. Philip DeFranco started off as a vlogger, and then he progressed into being a news anchor, I guess you could call him, or just the very amateur version of a news anchor. He talked about public stories that were going on in the world today, and he also covered a fair bit of YouTube news. Philip DeFranco, through growth and experience, eventually went on to create SourceFed. And SourceFed was a big information company that utilizes the YouTube platform. It became a business in itself. He's got his own human resources people. He has a manager. He has an assistant. He has grown his own business basically from nothing. Personally, I'm a former hater of Philip DeFranco. I thought his old stuff was garbage. But you can chalk it up to my growth as a person or his growth as a creator, to where I always find myself going to his channel in order to get news, because his news delivery is unbiased and you see things from both sides. And he has my respect for that, because it takes a special kind of person to take someone like myself from hatred to a respected subscriber. Another good example is Smosh. They have their own magazine now. They're making their own movies. They've got their own website. They're basically a corporation of their own as well. They still utilize the YouTube platform because that's where they came from. But I believe Smosh, Philip DeFranco, and Shay Carl, without the use of the YouTube platform, could stand on their own. Now, the Fine Brothers should be considered YouTubers because all of their success is based off of clips that they pulled from other YouTube channels or anything they could find on YouTube and getting people's reactions from them. So basically, their success is solely invested in YouTube because nobody goes to their channel to watch anything other than the react videos. I'm using a lot of air quotes today. My fingers are going to get tired, but you know what? That's a pain I will take for all of you. The number one subscribed YouTube channel, PewDiePie, should not be considered a YouTuber. He should be considered a gaming entertainer or a comedian. iDubbbz, for example, should be either a commentator or a comedian in its own self. He's got a very warped perspective of humor, but nevertheless, people find it funny. So therefore, why put the label YouTuber on him when he could go expand his craft into many other platforms? Now, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it had a very powerful statement at the end of it. And the statement was spoken by none other than the Lucifer of YouTube, Keemstar. Now, for the sake of just explanation, I'm going to play the entire statement that he made on this podcast. I know people are going to see that as me trying to hit the 10-minute mark. You know, believe what you want to believe. But if I were to cut up this statement, it would lose a lot of his power. So, without further ado, here is the statement that he made.
PewDiePie, all right, is the biggest YouTuber on the planet. If the media, all right, a small media outlet like the Wall Street Journal, they're not big, they don't have influence, they don't have viewers, they don't have millions of people watching them, they're very small. But if the Wall Street Journal, all right, this very small group of people can control and manipulate the biggest YouTuber on the fucking planet, then we have a problem. We have little people in control of very, very big people, and that's not fair. And it's not fair to be manipulated. It's not fair for us as a community to be felt this weak when we are not weak. We are much stronger than these people over the Wall Street Journal. If they can do that, then we as a YouTube community are basically TV or Hollywood, where, you know, a few people just control everything, that, you know, everything is PC and everything is censored and, you know, it's over the top political correctness. That is not what YouTube is, and that's not what YouTube should be. YouTube has always been about us and expressing ourselves without censorship, and we should not be bowing down to these rules and these regulations of a generation previous to us. We are our own generation. We are our own people. We are our own entity, and we should be able to govern and police ourselves. And if any outside forces or sources try to do this, we should fight back to the fullest extent of our ability, because this is not theirs, it's ours.
Now, whether you love or hate Keemstar, it doesn't matter. I think everybody can agree that the statement he made at the end of this baited podcast was incredibly valid. The YouTube community has grown from nothing, and you know how successful YouTube is now. The community and content creators have gained such a level of power and influence in the world today that they are a force to be reckoned with. Now, when you get something like the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times that tries to strike them down as just, you know, trivial influence, basically unimportant, the YouTube community has the power to strike back and defend itself. So therefore, all of these people have come together to form something powerful, utilizing the YouTube platform, but does that mean that they are YouTubers? No. Philip DeFranco and SourceFed, if YouTube were to shut down the next day, they could sustain themselves and move themselves onto another platform. Maker Studios was acquired by Disney, and let's be completely honest, Disney is not going anywhere, probably till the end of time. Now, Maker Studios, a company that Disney felt needed to be acquired and bought out, was created by YouTubers, basically content creators. I think it just goes to show that being a YouTuber is not a job, being a content creator is. People who have put so much work and time into everything that they've created have reaped the benefits of that through sponsorships or whatever else, any other endorsements you would like to name off. But YouTube is just a platform. YouTube is just a platform for these people to share their creation. So I think that being called a YouTuber is kind of limiting and a little bit patriarchal, if you want to use that word. Just on a closing note, and I don't know why I've been holding my hand up this entire time, I guess it just kind of supplements my enthusiasm, but on a final note, there have been a couple of people who have risen through the ranks of YouTube and have gone on to become huge superstars. I'm talking about Justin Bieber and I'm talking about Bo Burnham. Now, Justin Bieber started off making guitar videos on YouTube, but now, the level of success that he is, these people say they wouldn't consider him a YouTuber anymore. And Bo Burnham is a stand-up comedian now, which he started on YouTube, and he doesn't even really associate himself with YouTube anymore other than to put clips of like his What special. But they would not be considered YouTubers anymore. So why should these people, like Phil DeFranco and Shay Carl and all of them, be considered YouTubers when they have gone on to create something that is equally as substantial and successful as the other two? It doesn't make any sense to me, so that's why I think that the term YouTuber needs to be just completely done away with and call them what they are: entertainers, comedians. Like Casey Neistat is a vlogger, so I don't know what a professional term for him would be. But anyways, that's just my final thoughts on this. If you agree with me or disagree with me, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. This is something I've felt very passionate about for years and years and years. But thank you guys very much for watching. I mean, fight the power, I guess. I don't know. But thank you very much for watching. Feel free to leave a like, favorite this video, and subscribe if you want. You can do whatever you want. So, this is CmanXP signing out. And as always, keep it classy, internet, for the children. In case you didn't tell, I got a new mic stand and new windscreen, and it's very sexy.
Come on.